All right, track wrestling here at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, Dan Gable Museum in Waterloo, Iowa, with Allendale, Michigan high school coach Duane Watson. Duane, it's pretty interesting what you guys have going on right out here. You brought your team out here. You're doing some wrestling camps this week, but the bigger project was coming out and doing a little volunteer work at the Gable Museum, some community service. Can you tell our audience a little bit about what you're doing here?
Sure. I wish Ben Burke was here. Here's one of our assistant coaches, Phil Merrill. I guess first and foremost, we love wrestling. Love wrestling in Allendale, but if you asked Phil almost any question about NCAA wrestling, he'd be able to tell you. We love wrestling, and we also love helping people, and we love showing kids how to get outside of their comfort zone and do something that ain't fun. But sometimes it's fun when you're all done and it's accomplished and you can look back and say, I helped with that. And so we're trying to help the kids understand that giving back is just as important as getting, and maybe even more important. And so we're giving back. And thanks to Dave Mills for way up in Michigan, he invited Mike Doughty and Coach Gable to come and present the work at the Dan Gable Museum, and we happened to be at that clinic right in our hometown, or near our hometown, and that started the ball rolling. It started the kind of lit the fuse, and from there we just started inquiring, and it turned into our second year out here of community service, and this year we got to do a little wrestling while we're here, which is way cool, and but helping is way cool too. So we just want to give back. We want to make wrestling as good as it can possibly be, and what better place to do it than in the center of the world of wrestling in Iowa.
So let's see, we're going to pan around a little bit here. We got some guys that are doing some painting. We got some guys over here pulling some weeds. Looks like some asphalt work here, chopping up some potholes in the parking lot. What else do we got guys doing around here?
In the basement, we're putting up furring strips on about a 60-foot wall to store hanging objects, pictures, memorabilia, while it waits its turn in rotation for different displays and exhibits. And so it doesn't have to lay flat and glass crack and all that kind of stuff. So we're putting furring strips up to hang things. In the other part of the museum, we're taking down decorative walls inside in preparation for the renovation of expanding the wrestling room. And so they're tearing out walls and throwing them in the dumpster, and yeah, so we got about 3 or 4 things going on at once. And everybody each set of coaches has their own set of players. Each player just does what they're told, and so it works out really well.
So you're going to be here for a couple more days,
Yep.
and you're going down to Coach Gable's?
Yeah, again, thanks to Kyle Klingman and Mike Doughty, who arranged the opportunity for us to go cut, split, and stack wood for Coach Gable, and help around his yard and free him up so that he can go and do what he does best. He can go argue in favor of freestyle wrestling from Fila. I can't do that, but I can give him space so that he can go do that. And yeah, we can't wait to go there, because he always has words of wisdom for us that we take back and we put them to work, and we don't let the kids forget those words that somebody like Coach Gable says.
You guys are doing this for others, but in doing so, you get back something in return. What are the greatest things that your guys get out of this?
I think a grounding. That's what I think. They have a base. They find their feet again, you know what I mean? Or for the first time in their lives, they're just young boys, and maybe for the first time in their life, they went and did something very hard for nothing in return. They get nothing. They had to pay $300 each to come out here to participate in this clinic. Nobody gave them a discount. They didn't even ask for a discount, and so they paid $300 to work for a week, and not one single complaint. And not only no complaints, but they're working hard. They're not just dilly-dallying. So it gives them a base from which they can launch, hopefully, a give-back campaign of their own when they become a family and they start marrying and raising their families. Maybe they can start giving back as well. So.
You brought the stump with you.
The stump, yeah.
Can you tell the story about the stump?
The story of the stump is, I don't know, probably most people would think it's stupid. I don't think it's stupid, but we were walking across the lawn at Coach Gable's house, and Mike Doughty kind of motioned to a dead tree in Coach's front yard, and it was a 3 trunked birch tree, and Coach said, well, you can leave that old dead tree. I want it out of there, but I don't want anyone to cut it down and hit my house with it. And we cut a lot of wood in Michigan. It's cold there, and we cut a lot of wood for people that can't cut it for themselves, and some of us coaches also heat our own houses with wood, so we're pretty well acquainted with cutting wood. And so a few of us looked at each other, and Coach Gable wasn't going to be there the next day when we did the work, and so we cut it down for him safely, and we kept the stump. And we found that there were three main things we learned last year as a wrestling team. One of them came from Coach Gable, so we burned that on one face of the stump. One of them came from Larry Owings, the only man to beat Coach Gable in the NCAA during his time there. And Larry Owings happened to be here last summer, and he told us some great advice, and so we burned that. And then on the third face, we watched the movie Terry from Terry Brands, and the most striking thing in the whole movie is what Mr. Brands said to Terry when he came back, and that is, you got what you earned. And that just stuck to the kids like glue. And so we burned that into the face of the other. And so far we've taken that to every one of our dual meets, and the boys touch it, and a lot of people in the stands think it's for good luck, and luck has nothing to do with it. That's the farthest thing. They touch it after they shake the coach's hand before they walk out on the mat, in the hopes that they'll remember one of those pieces of advice while they're out there either getting their butt kicked or handing out a butt kicking. But remember what these great men have told us, so that maybe it'll help you. And so we carry that with us, and it's helped. It's helped a lot. It's a nice focal point for us.
You're on day one right now. You went through the Greco practice this morning, but is there anything that your guys have picked up so far? I mean, is there anything that, if there was another side to that stump, that would go on it?
Wrestling hurts. Right today on day one kid's in the hospital today. Not one of our kids, but one of the wrestlers, because stuff happens in wrestling. It's a tough physical sport that hurts. And if you aren't ready to get hurt, then maybe wrestling isn't what you should be doing. And today, 3-4 of my guys got dinged up a little bit. And so I guess today, maybe something great will happen tomorrow or Wednesday, but if I had to put a fourth face on that stump, from Coach Watson to the boys, I would say wrestling hurts. And that's it. Going
back to kind of the genesis of this, and you mentioned the relationship with Mike Doty and Coach Gable coming out there and doing that for you.
Yeah.
Where did the wheels set in motion after that to come out here? Where did that idea start? Because I know you guys have done some give back projects close to home.
Oh yeah, the football program, and I wish Coach Burke was here. I don't know where he's at. He's in the basement, I guess. But the football team and the wrestling team work hand in hand to do as much community service as we're able to do physically with the boys back home. And when we got to this clinic, it was called the Monster Clinic at Forest Hill Central High School. Dave Mills sponsored it. Mike Doty presented the fact that there's a lot of work to do here. And so I just questioned him afterwards and said, is there stuff that a wrestling team could do? And I explained to him that we like to do this kind of thing. And he said, you know what, let me think about that, I'll get back with you. So we did. And so we made a trip out here. The whole coaching staff made a trip out here, and we looked it over and said, yeah, let us get involved. And it turned into last year and then this year. And hopefully it'll be lots of years to come.
What were your guys most looking forward to about this trip? Chopping wood at Gables?
I think the combination of, doing this right here. These boys would be sitting home probably playing video games. Getting them out of Allendale, that's what I look forward to the most. Giving them an experience that they'll never forget in their entire life. They'll remember the summer of 17 because it might be the last summer they ever come out here. So I look forward to those kind of things, just giving them another experience. But the Coach Gable Museum, along with Coach Gable, is an awesome combination. Yeah.
You think there's anything else any other programs can learn from you guys? I mean, would you like to, imagine you'd probably like to see this become a kind of a national trend of...
Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be great if everybody found some way to give back in their community? Imagine how America, President Trump says we want to make America great again. How about, wouldn't it be awesome if we could make America great again from the inside out? You know, people just starting to help people again and not wanting anything in return. Just go help somebody. I think that would be a great, kind, strong thing for America to do for